Welcome students. Hope everyone are safe and healthy during this pandemic situation. In this video, we're gonna discuss about the placement preparation for the upcoming drive, that is VVDN technologies, which may arrive to our campus by August 1st or 2nd week. Till now, we didn't get the confirmed date. And this time, it will be a virtual drive. Completely it will be take place through online mode. The written exam or interview, everything will be not online only. So how we can prepare for the drive? So let's go. So first of all, remuneration that is offered by VVDN Technologies. So the position offered was a trainee. That is the initial position. You will be placed either in embedded software or embedded hardware, or it can be testing. That is quality assurance. So the starting package is 3.2 lakhs per annum, and your work location will be in Chennai. And yes, there is a service agreement. There may be a bond. It's of 3 years, I think. Okay, there may be a bond. Not there may be one. There is a bond for 3 years. Okay, and if you got selected, you will have your internship with VVDN during your 8th semester. It may be around 3 to 6 months with remuneration. So this time our students got a stipend of about 10,000. Okay, so they completed their internship program in Pollachi. So this is mainly based on the 2020 recruitment process. Okay, that is for the batch 2020 batch. So you guys are 2021 batch. Still now we didn't get any mail regarding the position or job location or even salary package and all. So based on the last year recruitment, I have collected this information. Mostly this year also this will be the same. And recruitment process, first of all, eligibility. So BE BTech, it may be EEC, E&I, CSIT, because they have both core, that is for hardware and software. So in case of software, it will be much helpful for CS and IT. For hardware, it will be for EEC and E&I. Okay, so there should be no current arrears, that is no standing arrears will be allowed. History of arrears is acceptable, and your CGPA must be above 70%. And sometimes other than CGPA, you may ask for our 10th and 12th. Okay, so for any placement drive, better have a proper academic percentage, that is at least 70 or minimum 65 for 10th, 12th, and your college degree. And your selection process, there will be 3 rounds. The first round is written test, and second round is technical interview, and third round is HR interview. Okay, so your written exam, so totally you will have 65 questions. So in that 15 questions for logical and 30 questions for electronics and 20 questions for C programming. Okay, so this will be common for all branches, that is EEE, EC and E&I. Okay, so there will be a separate test for CS and IT, because that is mainly focusing on software. But in terms of EEE, ECE, E&I, you will have these 3 sections. Okay, so in logical, you will get some aptitude question and some logical reasoning questions. You can refer R.S. Agarwal book, that is logical reasoning by R.S. Agarwal, or quantitative aptitude by R.S. Agarwal. In terms of electronics, you may get some questions from EDC, that is electronic devices and circuits, circuit theory, operational amplifier, DLC, microprocessor and microcontroller. Because mainly VVDN is an embedded based company, you will get some questions from microprocessor and microcontroller. And then C programming. So C program, most of the questions are mainly based on output type. So they will give some program and they will ask for the output. So what will be the output, like how many times the word will get entered, and what is the value that will be displayed in the result. Like that you will get some programs. The total duration offered will be 1 hour 45 minutes. Okay, so this is also based on the last year recruitment process, but this time it is completely online, so there may be changes in the number of questions and the time duration. Okay, anyhow, you prepare for the already available test pattern. Okay, so if in terms of circuit theory, okay, so let us take circuit theory. So this will be common for all placement types. Okay, any core company, so this will be your preparation topics. Okay, so first you have to be thorough in active and passive elements, that is sources, voltage, current source, either it may be dependent or independent, and passive element, that is RLC. You have to know the voltage, current, power for each element, that is voltage across the element, current through the element, and power dissipated in that element, or power stored in the energy stored in that element. Okay, so for RLC, and you have to know the connection. So what will be the series connection and what is the equivalent of your parallel connection. So next one, the basic law, Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's voltage law, and Kirchhoff's current law. So you should ready to apply this basic law in solving the problems, and you have to know wherever these laws are applicable and wherever it is not applicable. Okay. So next one, nodal analysis. So this is an important thing. You may expect some sums in that they will ask find the current or find the voltage at the node, like that. So these two topics, Ohm's law and nodal. So this will helpful in first round. Okay. Next one, equivalent resistance. So sometimes you may get a complex circuit. From the complex circuit, you have to find the equivalent resistance by just making certain changes in the circuit, and you have to find the equivalent resistance. So next one, star delta. So this will be just combined with the equivalent resistance. So and then in terms of theorems, so mostly we won't expect superposition theorem. So mainly we will get problems from Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem. They will ask what is the R Thevenin, what is the V Thevenin, and what is the Norton's current. So this one, and then maximum power transfer theorem. So they will give some circuit and they will ask for the resistance value to get the maximum power. Okay, and then transient analysis. So you can expect some MCQ in transient analysis, that is a circuit with resistor and capacitor. They will ask some question like voltage across capacitor when the switch is closed or switch is open. That is transient analysis and steady state analysis. So you have to know what will happen for the inductor and capacitor during the transient and steady state period. So next one, three-phase circuit. In this you have to know what is 2-watt-meter method and why it is advantageous compared to 1-watt-meter method and the 3-watt-meter method, and what is power factor, and what is the three-phase power, and what is the difference between star and delta, and voltage relation and current relation in star and delta network. And then RLC resonance circuit. So resonance is an important thing. So in that you have to know, if you know the resonance for RLC, you can find the same for RC, RL, or LC, anything. So RLC resonance is main one. Either you study completely the series resonance or else parallel resonance. So any one, that is compulsory. And then two-port network. So in two-port network, you may expect Z parameter. So this is a common one. You may expect this also. So in this, in terms of VBDN, so in terms of VBDN, you have to concentrate this one and basic law, nodal, equivalent resistance, Thevenin's, Norton, and then transient analysis. So first cover these areas. After that, go for other one, that is maximum power transfer theorem, star delta. And I have already told you these are the importance of our topics. I didn't add the superposition theorem or Telegrand's theorem. Okay, so these are the important topics. First to cover these topics. If you have time, then go for the other topics. So in this you can refer this one, the fundamentals of electric circuits by Alexander and Sadiko. So this book will be helpful in solving some problems. So they have a lot of example problems. So next one, electronic devices and circuits. So first one you have to cover is PN junction diode. So you know the working, and you got to know the VA characteristics of PN junction diode and its application, that is Clipper Clamper rectifier. So you got to know the application of PN junction diode. Then Zener diode. So what is the difference between PN junction diode and Zener diode in terms of doping, in terms of operation in the reverse bias region? Okay, and then application of Zener diode, that is voltage regulated. So this is an important topic. So you may get some MCQ like asking for the output voltage by giving some Zener diode in parallel. Else the current through the Zener diode or power across the Zener diode, like that you can expect some questions. And then BJT. So similarly in BJT you have to know the construction and operation. So we have three configuration: CE, CB, CC, and you have to know the difference between each configuration, and you have to know the output and inputs in each configuration, and what are the output and input characteristics in BJT. Okay. Then BJT biasing. So we have four biasing, right? Fixed voltage divider, common base bias, and then emitter feedback bias. So just at least learn the fixed bias and then voltage divider bias. You may expect voltage divider bias in the MCQ of any of the placement, right? And FET. So you know you have to know the working and operation of JFET and MOSFET. Okay. So commonly I have mentioned as FET. So in FET also we have FET biasing. So why I am asking to study FET biasing and BJT biasing is mainly to know the operating regions. So whether it is in active region or it is in saturation or it is in cutoff, that can be known with the help of biasing. Okay. And there are some conditions which will help you to find the operating region directly. And you have to know the circuit symbols for FET, BJT, Zener and P junction diode. For FET we have a different symbol for N channel, P channel, depletion, enhancement. So you have to know the circuit symbols thoroughly. And then application of BJT and FET. So whether it is for which one is used for high power application, which one is current controlled, which one is voltage controlled, and which can be used for higher frequency. Like that you have to know some applications. And then comparison. So comparison of individual semiconductor devices. Okay. So these are the things you have to cover in terms of electronic device and circuits. If you know the working of transistor, you can expect some question mixing electronic devices circuits and logic gates. They may ask you to construct a AND gate using transistor, or they will give some PMOSFET circuit and ask you whether it is AND gate or OR gate or not gate. So you are ready to design a logic gates either using BJT or FET. Okay. In terms of diode, you can expect some questions adding diodes in series, and they will ask for the output voltage, or giving some diodes in parallel, and they will ask which diode will turn on. Like that, you may expect some questions in diodes. So for EDC, you can refer the book Electronic Devices and Circuits by Salivahanan. And coming to DLC, so DLC is an easy one only. So number system, so we have at least you have to know the 4 number system, that is binary, octal, hexa, and then decimal. Okay, you have to know the conversion also. In Boolean algebra, after that logic gates. So in logic gates you have to ready to design any logic gate using universal gates. Okay, that is NAND and NOR. They may ask you to design AND gate using NAND or NOR gate, or they will give some expression. Simply they will give expression and they will ask you to minimum number of NAND gate or NOR gate, and you have to know the working of bubbled AND, bubbled OR, XOR and XNOR. You have to know the logical expression for each logic gates. And then K-map. So it may be a 2 class 4 or 3 class 4, 3 class 8 or 4 class 4. So whatever may be, you have to know 2, 3, 4. So K-map. Then multiplexer. So in terms of combinational circuit, we have multiplexer, adder, encoder, decoder and all. So in that you have to majorly concentrate on multiplexer and adder. So in interview you can expect some questions to design half adder or full adder using a K-map, and you have to draw some truth table, the circuit symbol and all. So in combination circuit, just concentrate mainly on multiplexer and adder. In multiplexer also they will give some logic gates in terms of multiplexer, and they will ask for the then flip-flops. So JK, SR, T and D. So you have to know the excitation table, and you have to know the conversion. So how can we convert JK to SR or SR to T, D to T? They are simple and that is already available in books. So just have the formulas and check how the conversion are made. Then move to counter. So we have mod n counter, ring counter. Okay. So in this we can expect some question like they will give some counter circuit and they will ask for the n value, whether it is mod 6 or mod 8, whether it is up counter or down counter. Like that they will ask some question. Okay. And sometimes they will ask for mod 8 counter how many flip-flops you need. Like that also we can expect some. Then shift register, mostly we won't get MCQ in shift register. Sometimes you may get MCQ like they will give some numbers 1010 as an input. So they will ask for the output after 3 pulses or after 6 pulses. Like that they will ask for shift register, and even counter also they will give the starting input and they will ask for the value after 6 pulses or 8 pulses, like that. And then ADC DAC, that is analog to digital counter and digital to analog converter. Okay, analog to digital and digital to analog converters. So in that mainly focus on resolution formula, the formula for resolution, and that or 2 or ladder logic circuit. Okay, so concentrate on that. If possible, just study the successive approximation also. Then logic families. So if you have time, just go through the logic families and try to construct the logic gates using all type of logic families. Okay. For this, you can refer the book Digital Design by Maurice Mann. And then op-amp. So in LIC, you will get mostly questions from operational amplifier alone. Okay. So first of all, you have to know the ideal characteristics of op-amp, and you have to know the equivalent circuit of op-amp, then slew rate. And in op-amp application, you have to know the inverting and non-inverting amplifier, the output formula, and if I give a sine wave as an input, and what will be the output? That will be a question asked in the interview, that is final interview. Even in TESOL, DVD and TESOL. So in both interview, students got the questions like just to design an inverting amplifier with the sine wave as input and draw the corresponding output. Okay. Similarly, you have to know the working of summing amplifier. Summing amplifier using inverting and non-inverting. So two modes are there. So you have to know the both. And filters. So you have to design the filter using op-amp, or else at least you have to know which is low pass, which is high pass, which is band pass by just seeing the op-amp circuit. Okay. Then offset voltage. So offset voltage is a main thing. So whenever you didn't give any input, there may be some offset voltage that will affect your output. So you can expect some questions based on that. And then virtual ground. So this is the main concept. So if you ask me what are the important topics, I will say if you know the virtual ground concept, whatever may be the question, whether it is inverting, non-inverting, or summing, or filter, or anything, you can just solve. You can simply solve the questions if you know the virtual ground concept correctly. Okay. So next one, applications. So other applications of op-amp like differentiator circuit, integrator circuit, and all. Okay. So these are all enough for operation amplifier in terms of MCQ. Okay. For interview, you have to know the circuit symbol for inverting, non-inverting, summing, differentiator, integrator, and whatever may be the input waveform, whether it is a sine waveform or it is a square waveform or sawtooth waveform. So what should be the output? So you have to ready to draw the output graph. Okay. So for op amps, you can refer the book op amps for everyone, that is released by Texas Instrument. TA means Texas Instrument. So that will be cover all these points. So next one. So coming to C programming. So now everyone got trained in Python, but C is a basic one. I think you learned the first year. Okay. So even though you are not ready to learn or you are not interested, just a single or just a one advice. C programming is much easy compared to your subject, that is you are learning in that is electrical machines or even DSP or anything, any subject. If you compare the toughness, I would say C programming is much easier than the core subjects. So first cover the data types. What are the available data types? Okay. So and you have to know the ranges. For integer, what is the range? For signed integer, what is the range? For unsigned integer, what is the range? And what is the memory for integer type? What is the memory for float or string, double? So you have to know the type, range, and its memory. Okay. Then move to conditional statement, that is if else, ternary operator. Okay. Then move to looping. So for loop, while loop, do while loop. So and just know the difference between three loops. So why we are using, when you have to go for while and do while. Then move to array. So you can expect some questions from array. So in array you have to know what are the available methods to declare the array, whether it is a 2D or it is a 3D. Okay, or it's a single array. So you have to know the what are the available declaration methods. And pointer. So pointer, you have to know what is the reference address and how to declare a pointer, and how what is the variable that is pointing the pointer, and you have to learn the combination of array and pointer. So in MCQ, whether they will ask some questions separately in array, separately in pointer, and some questions that will combine both array and pointers. Then move to string. Okay, in string we have already available inbuilt function like string concatenation, string length, string copy, and all. So first learn the inbuilt function and learn the program for the same. So how can you measure the length of the given string without using the function strlen? Okay, so learn that program also. So next, bitwise operator. So and or nor, that is boolean. So similarly we have some bitwise operator, just learn the same. And malloc and clloc. So what is malloc and what is clloc, and what is the use, and what are the available macros in C programming? So learn that also. And what are the library functions? So why we are using stdio, and why we are using conio, that is conio.h or math.h, and for string why we are using string.h. So what is the use of library in C programming? And then finally shift and rotate. So what will happen, or what is the symbol for shifting a bit or rotating a bit, whether it is right rotate or left rotate or anything like that. So these are things you have to cover in C programming. For practice, okay, for practice you can refer the book, Test Your C Skills. Okay, so in this book you will have some example programs and then exercise programs. Okay, so you can refer both and just go through the programs in which they ask for output. So find the output for the given program. So like that, just practice some programs. So even though VBDN we are going for a core, that is embedded core, it is not like that. We are coming for a hardware job. So why I have to know the C programming? That is not like that. Even though you are a hardware engineer, you have learned some basics in programming, because in 5 to 10 years there won't be any machine which is operating solely on hardware. Every machine will just depend on some softwares. So you must have some software knowledge to sustain or survive in the industry. Okay, so don't tell I am a electrical engineer, I don't have any programming language. Just start planning. Okay. So for the face-to-face interview, that is technical interview and then HR interview, so first of all, prepare your resume and get guided by some faculty or some of your seniors or even your relatives who is working, and then choose your area of interest in the resume wisely. Okay. So sometimes people may ask questions based on your area of interest. So choose that wisely and concentrate on the mini project, hardware, paper process you have already done. So some people, they will blankly copy some mini project hardware data from your friends and they will put it in the resume. If the interviewer asks some questions on the mini project or hardware or paper processing, they will be blank. So whatever you are putting in your resume, just to know that very well. Okay. And industrial training and internship. So I know most of the guys done some online internship in the lockdown period. That too in educate technologies, you have done some interns in embedded system, IoT and all. So just to put that and revise the things you learn in that intern. Okay. And then you will get some questions related to your written exam. That is, in first round you will get some technical question, right? So based on that question, you again they will ask some question like how you solve the circuit using Thevenin theorem, whether there are any other available methods, and why you choose the region of BJT as active region. What is the reason? And how can you make that active region to cut off region? What you have to do? Like that, you will expect some questions. Okay. So once you complete the written exam, just revise the question whether you have attended with the knowledge, with the correct concept, or you merely put the tick and all. Okay, so you can expect some question from written exam uh, if you in luck, in terms of luck, if you got selected in the second round, from the questions they ask and the answers you responded, from that they will simply tell he just got selected based on the luck, not from the preparation work. So after written exam, kindly take a paper and note down what are the concepts they are asked in written exam and prepare the same till you ask for, you call for interview. Okay. This time it is a virtual day, so this the first one is a main thing. You must have some good internet facility. Okay, because uh, you have to attend an online exam nearly at least for 1 hour. Maximum it can be 2 hours also, and laptop with the updated browser. So at least Chrome more than 60. The version should be more than 60. So now it is above 83, 84, I think. So if you don't have any laptop, at least on the during the dry period, just borrow it from someone. Okay. And time management. So since it is online, may take some time compared to the written exam. Okay. So better prepare on your own. Practice some questions that is available in online. And main thing, resume preparation. Okay. So people don't gonna see you whether you are complete attire and all. Okay. So it is through Google Meet or it's maybe through Skype or Zoom, anything. So resume will speak for you. So first prepare the resume very well. So during the trial, um, this neatly and boys just shave the beard and see, and or else at least attend a mock interview through Google Meet or Skype through faculties, so that you can simply eliminate what are the mistakes you can done on the interview day. So just and we will plan for some mock interview through Google Meet or Skype. Okay. So another thing, even though we are giving some data to you, you have to do some research on your own. So first visit the company. So whatever may be, today it's VVDN. So whatever may be the placement, right? You have to visit the company and what are they doing and what are the projects they are doing and where are the locations available in the country, whether it is MNC or it's only available in India, and how many years of experience and what is the total employee count. That and all you have to know. For that you have to visit company site, or else just to go for Glassdoor or LinkedIn. So in Glassdoor you know about the company, it's either good or bad, so you know the review. Okay, for the review you know the salary package and you know the interview experience from Glassdoor. So LinkedIn, in LinkedIn you can get contacts of some seniors or some people of your own town who's working in the company. So from there you can get contact and you can prepare for the same. Another thing, so collect the previous year questions. So this will be helpful because last time one company came, they gave the previous year question. So one student, he already prepared the previous year question, that is for 2018 passed question. So he prepared well. So in the written exam he got the same question. So he got 35 out of 35. He asked for HR entry directly. Okay, so prepare the previous year questions. So get the answer and just check with your friends and faculties. Okay. So another thing, you can get information about the company or about the interview process from your immediate seniors. Okay. So as of in civil department in 2020 batch, 15 students got selected in the first round, but only 4 students got selected in the final round. So just contact the 15 students who got selected in the first round and ask them why they are not selected for the final round, because they have done some mistakes. So just learn from their mistake and you don't repeat the same. Okay. And alumni connect. So our department alumni, Munishwaran, so who is a 2016 batch, so currently you have 4 years of experience. Just talk with him what are the scope once you get into VVDN and what will be the package for seniors, like what will be your package after 5 years, and what is the position for you. Is there any opportunity for traveling to on-site and work with the client there, like that. Just ask some question with your alumni. Okay, so these are the things I want to tell. This is not only for VVDN, this is same for any placement, right? Whether it may be a cadence or it may be data button or anything. So this is a procedure and this you have to follow. So research on your own and prepare on your own. So thank you guys, all the best. Do the day well and get placed. Okay, so and then main thing, even though you're not placed, that is not a big matter. So first thing is stay safe during this situation. See you soon.